Good evening, everyone. On currently the 18th of October 2015, we are still tracking Typhoon Koppu. It is still moving off here towards the west-northwest very slowly at this point. But some good news, it has traversed Luzon a little bit faster than we expected and went a little bit farther here towards the west. Now, if this was out in the open ocean, this would be such a minor change in position that we would not even be noticing it or definitely not be talking about it. But the original track had this storm moving very slowly like this just over central Luzon. But right now, it does look like it's going to come a little bit farther towards the west and move up. This high pressure back here towards the west over southern China, a little bit weaker than we originally anticipated, but it's just a very slight difference here. But the good news, the storm does look like it's not going to be sitting over central Luzon for 48 hours, instead just off the western coastline. So the east coast, you may be seeing less rain. Unfortunately, this does come at a price because the western seaboards, you're going to be seeing, well, just as much or possibly even more rainfall. This moisture is going to continue to wrap around the western periphery of Luzon and pump that moisture onshore. But this storm system already is packing a punch, guys. It is still a very dangerous system. One casualty has been reported at this time. Thousands of homes have been evacuated. Thousands of homes have been flooded already, especially there in northeastern Luzon. These images, James Reynolds and Mark Thomas, who have been documenting this storm all day there along the eastern seaboard, just seeing pretty significant flooding out here, and many rivers have already continued to rise. Hundreds or thousands of downed trees, I should say. Power outages as well, and even in Manila we have been seeing the winds being picked up out here. For the rainfall has been bringing the threat of landslides. This is actually one landslide there from Baguio City, the summer capital of the Philippines, as it is called by many people out here. And this is just one display of this particular event and one of the continued threats we're going to be seeing through the rest of Sunday, but of course going over to Monday and even into Tuesday as well out here. Storm slowly makes its way off here towards north, and what I mean by slowly, it is just taking its sweet old time, and it'll be lingering here in northwestern Luzon, still pulling that moisture around. So those of you even in the Manila, I do expect some threat of flooding out here. It's not so much due to the intense heavy rainfall, but it's going to be persistent over the course of 48 hours. So even farther down here towards the south, you could see that threat. We've also been seeing some gusty winds even as far south as Cebu, causing some damage. But also as we go ahead into Tuesday, this is slowly going to be meandering off here and just continuing to pump that moisture on shore. So I still think the northwestern areas of Luzon, even though this is a little bit farther here towards the west, it definitely is going to continue to impact you, and you're going to be seeing that continued chance of total precipitation, 500 to 600 millimeters, but some areas could see over a meter of total rainfall. It's some pretty impressive and intense stuff here. Now, as we look ahead, this is quickly going to get wrapped up with a jet stream, so good news going into Thursday and Friday. I do think it should weaken out, but still could bring some threat of some flooding rains there for those parts of Taiwan and even into the southern Japanese islands. Something we're going to watch out for later on this week, but right now, the big topic is still the Philippines. If you look at the 5-day forecast from JTBC, it just lingers here for the course of the next 5 days, and what that means is more precipitation and continued flooding. And this story is by no means over with, guys. This is going to be an ongoing situation out here. I'm going to be making video updates on the daily, but every single day we're going to be talking about new reports of significant flooding. Right now, good news, only one casualty, and I say one casualty is good news. That is still very sad and grim news, but the reality is here in the Philippines, I mean, we saw Washi a few years ago, and that one brought tremendous amount of rainfall in the Mindanao, and that resulted in upwards of 1,000 casualties. So hey, this just displays how dangerous these storm systems here, and when you can keep this casualty number in the single digits, that is a vast improvement. We want zero, but just definitely do not want it into the hundreds, one of those disastrous type of situations. So hopefully everyone does not let their guard down with this, as this storm continues to dominate the island of Luzon out here, and even continuing to pull off here towards the north later on this week. But good news, it still is slowly tracking off here towards the west. That is improving conditions along the eastern seaboards, but northwestern and western Luzon, it does look like the weather is not going to be improving for you anytime soon. All right, guys, stay safe out there.